Hi, welcome to a brand new video on the target individual program, the target individual experience. Um, so, the last video I did, I showed you how they basically shut down the website psychologicalharassment.com. And previously before that, some while ago, I think it was like last year, they had shut down another site that talks about what it is that they're doing, right? And these two sites, the other site was called factnet.org, and it talks about destructive cult, coercive persuasion programming or programs, how they recruit people, how they use religion, they use the churches as a tool to basically engage in what is called psychological harassment or psychological torture. Okay? And it is basically used, like I said, as a cover up for non consensual human experimentation. So, I wish someone had done this on the factnet.org site, but someone basically made a video of the website psychologicalharassment.com and put it on YouTube. As you can see here, if you watch the videos in entirety, they go through again all of the pages, all of the options and stuff like that, so you can see. Then they scroll down so you can read the information that's there. And I have to say kudos to the individual that did this, okay? Because we as TIs, we know that they're trying to erase all the information that's on the web pertaining to coercive persuasion programs and psychological harassment programs that has been going on for decades, okay? And so to see this, I was like, okay, yes. Now, there are other websites that I want to show you guys, okay? So one of these websites, it's called the New World War. This is a website created by Mark Rich. For those of you who doesn't know who Mark Rich is, I first found out about Mark Rich from a PDF that he had made and created. It was called The Hidden Evil, okay? And on that, in that PDF, it basically laid out a lot of the stuff that these people was doing. Let's see if I can find it here. I should have brought it up before. Let's see here. Let's see which one. Okay, let's go to PDF here. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Let's see if this is it. Alright. Yes. So, again, this, and you can find this as paxinternational.org. PAX is an organization for People Against Covert Technology. Okay? And so, this is one of the first information that basically helped me to realize what was going on, as well as the psychological harassment website and the factnet.org website. And on I want to say this: the person who had created the factnet.org website was a member of Scientology, and Scientology, their members were using the same tactics on this individual, and he ended up suing Scientology, right? So I don't know the outcome. I think he won. That's if I remember what he said, against the Scientologist organization. But this these information here are very important, and we need to save these information. So I've had this on my other computer, and I'm going to save it on this one, and I'm going to make multiple copies of it, because they are trying to basically get rid of any information that that basically expose or explain what it is that they're doing. So again, this is some of the stuff on the website. I'm just going to scroll down. It talks about, the structure of it, and they give you, information on the then Patriot Act, which still is active, and but this is just information that you guys can look up yourself and do the research, right? So that's very, very important. Another one is this book. This book is called Mind Control Language Pattern. Okay? And it's by an author named Dantaline Jones. Right? And in this book, this is very important, it talks about dark NLP. And let me just read what it says here. Okay, so he says, mind control language pattern are spoken phrase that can act as triggers to the people who hear them. In short, they influence and control how we respond and cause us to be influenced to do things without our knowing. These language patterns are not fantasies, but are based on documented use that comes from psychology, hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, and studies of behavior. Mind control language pattern can be used to help and hurt. One can use mind control language pattern to create positive and lasting change in people, as well as feelings of trust, love, and affection. They can also be used to induce amnesia, fear, insecurity, and doubt. These types of patterns are what we call dark patterns. I've seen the result of these dark patterns and destructive language patterns. They are devious because most people don't even know they're happening or they're happening. They live life. Let me repeat that. They live life half-heartedly with no purpose because someone meant to hurt them. If you know of anyone using these mind control language patterns to injure you have every right to act and stop them. Okay? So, I mean, that's just to tell you how dangerous what it is that they have done and what they're doing to us as TIs. Alright, so this information can be found online, and I would suggest when people watch this video, they go and they download this. Download it because they will remove it from the internet, and they're going to do it soon. Now, I have downloaded this myself also. So let me just go through some pages here, and I want to get to the table of contents. Right? So these are the table of contents, and as a TI, this shows you, it tells you actually how to use these patterns, and then it tells you how these patterns are being used on you, right? So for example, how to make people crazy, gaslighting, how to know the weakness of anyone, hidden attractions, tells you how to open the door to a woman's heart, and stuff like that. So, the things, and lead others through confusion, which is called confusion patterns. A lot of things that they used to do with me, and they still do, and especially with me and Pam, because we're not on good terms right now. I'm not really speaking to her, even though I'm at her place right now because she's going away for her job. So she wanted to see the kids before she leaves. So I told her, okay, I'll bring them over. Okay. So the things that they use on her pertaining to me is the boyfriend destroyers, and I'm not gonna get into that, but you guys can read up on that yourself. And also, that pattern, the connection pattern, fascination pattern, forbidden dark patterns, the depression pattern, elements of dark NLP patterns, stuff like this that you need to understand and know, because it will help you in terms of combating and dealing with the mind control coercive persuasion program that's being done on you, as well as recognizing that you've been conditioned also using, dark NLP or these dark patterns, right? So again, using emotions to persuade, using mind control to create an addiction, these things are very important that us as TIs have to understand, because they're being used on us every single day. Alright, now, the next site, freeminds.org, they basically copied some of the stuff that's on psychologicalharassment.com, and again, it talks about the coercive persuasion program. Okay, the tactics, as well as Robert J. Lifton 8 points model of thought reform. Again, so this information is available online. You guys can research it. I'm just putting it out there for you guys. Download these things. Download it. Make a video of it. Whatever you have to do, okay, to keep these things in circulation, because they are trying to get rid of all of these information online. Okay, these people do not want others to know about this. Okay, and the more people go onto these websites and more traffic come onto these websites, they will attempt to shut it down, or they have shut it down. Okay, so just remember this stuff. Okay, very, very important. All right. So now let's go on to my video. Of course, you guys know I have a video coming, right? Got to, okay? And so yesterday, which was Tuesday, I took the kids outside, and of course they know I was going to take the kids outside, because I'm monitored on a daily basis, so no matter where I go, they know. Before I get there, they will have their perps in the area or inside a particular establishment, and they will start the harassment campaign, right? The psychological harassment campaign. So yesterday I came outside with the kids, and I saw across the street there was this guy that I know. We went to high school together, and he recently moved back here in Brooklyn. And so he was across the street, and it looked like he was working on his car. And so I kept looking over there, and every time I looked over there, you see the guy in the blue shirt. There was this guy and another another guy, and every time I would look over there, they would pinch their nose, right? And I'm not going to simulate what they did, because if you're a TI, you're looking, I really don't want to trigger you. But every time I looked over there, he would pinch his nose. So then I noticed the license plate of the car. Okay, now I wear glasses, but it's strictly for reason. So when I can see the license plate numbers way across the street. Okay, so after a while, I decided to walk over there. These perps over here, I gotta come over here, right? Because again, they come on the block and in front of their car, license. So notice that when I start walking over, he removed the phone from his ears, right? Play it again, you'll see it back in talking about. And now he's just staring at the phone. Obviously he's not on a call. Okay. There you go. Okay. Alright, so let me go back here, because again, if you look at the license plate number, right? So this is on my block now. So all of a sudden now you see these new cars, and like I said, I don't mean like brand new cars. Sometimes they're brand new, but new cars that have never been on this block, parking on this block. And these two people must have just moved onto the block, because I've never seen them before. Okay, and I think they move into one of these houses over here. And so again, they'll send them. They always recruit perpetrators to move into your neighborhood, move on your block, move in your apartment building, or next to you if you own a house or you live in a house. They'll always, there's no shortage of people who they will recruit, and we're talking about from all backgrounds, all ethnicities. Okay, And so, as you can see here, again, that number, right?
There you go.
So,
put them on camera.
Alright, so I was talking to the guy that I went to high school with, and it's funny because I think I've said this before, that whenever they feel they have the upper hand on me, they'll constantly use certain people. So this guy that I'm talking about, his name is Winston. Okay, so again, with a name like Winston, they I guess try to make me feel that they've won or what have you. Whatever game that they're playing, they've won. So whenever time they try to make me feel like, oh, they're winning or they've won or what have you, they'll start pinching their nose or sticking their finger up their nose, and I'm just like, what did you win? I'm not in competition with you. I'm not in a race with you. So what have you? Or maybe in terms of because these people try to exert their will over you, and the more you fight against, the more they're gonna try to exert their will. But you just can't give up. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep exposing, and that's what I do. So they haven't won anything. They haven't shut me up. They have done certain things. Yes. So they have done certain things to ruin certain aspects of my life. Okay, and so anyway, so I'm talking to this guy, and every time I look at them, both of them will start pinching their nose, or sticking their thumb up their nose, or using their middle finger to stick their fingers up their nose. And so I was like, okay, all right, and I just grabbed my phone, and you're gonna see me walking over to them.
Nigel gave me
I'm walking over to them right now. Okay, and you see he's sticking his finger up his nose as he sees me, and he's doing this. Okay. All right, and there he goes. Okay. Now it's funny because, and then you can see he raised his phone up, right? And so after I recorded, I gave him the thumbs up, and I was like, thank you, because again, you're giving me proof to validate what it is that I'm saying, what it is that I'm showing. Okay, and this is something that they don't want TIs to do, to get video evidence of what it is that they're doing. But like I said, sometimes, because these are new recruits, and it's always the new recruits that I'll catch on camera and get some really good footage. Okay, and so when I turn around and walk back to speak to the guy, to Winston, they left. They went back into their home, right? About 5 minutes later, okay, it was about 6 or 7 cars that was passing by, and when they got to where I was standing, they all slowed down and they started looking at the building, right, the building window, like I said they normally do. Now they were in their car, so whether it was the driver, the person in the passenger seat behind the driver, they were all doing the same thing. Then the sirens, the fire trucks, the police, and all that stuff. So I said, wow, they must be really mad that I got this footage. Okay, and so I was like, okay, so I was speaking to Winston for a little bit, and then I went back across the street, and within 2 minutes, okay, of going back across the street, let me just do this here.
Hey guys.
Saw the fire truck.
Daddy,
There you go.
look.
Okay.
Daddy, look. Daddy.
Alright, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I went back in the house with the kids, later on that night. Of course, the noise campaign and the helicopters. And again, you can hear the helicopters over here too. So it doesn't matter where I go, they're going to do the helicopters now. So this is what they're doing. Okay, so again, today on our way down here, walking down the block, going to the bus stop to catch the bus, and again, another vehicle.
That I'm not kidding when I say this. So here's another vehicle.
Again, a vehicle that has that I haven't seen parked up on this block before. You know, that again, right? So again, the license plate number
3262. So you understand what I'm talking about. So 3262. HSZ 3262. So you understand what I'm talking about.
All right. So you know, I show you guys on Pam's block. You know, all these cars that's parking there, all these new cars never parked there before. Again, with that number in the license plate, more than any other set of numbers. Okay. And I've had countless of videos of showing this. All right. And so, okay, you know, so we got on the bus. We had to take 2 buses. So we got on the first bus, and we're walking across the street now to catch the other bus. And as I got off the bus,
Just got to record them.
so I heard them immediately as I stepped off the bus. I heard them, and I started walking, and I was trying to get because you know they tried to do it to where I couldn't videotape them. You know, I had the 2 kids with me, but I just so happened to take my phone out, you know, double press and started recording, and was able to.
Just got to record them. Come on, guys.
Okay, so again, they try to be very tactical in how they target me. Okay, and you know, it is something that I know that I'm going to be going through for the rest of my life because I refuse to be quiet. I will not be silenced. And you know, there's a saying that says what was it? Authorities are emboldened when people remain silent. Okay, something like that. And it reminds me because you know, in Germany, the German people were silent, and so the Nazis were able to commit all kind of atrocities. Yes. I'm doing a video, okay? Just give me a sec. Excuse me. So, you know, people remain silent. And when they're trying to silence you as a TI, you cannot remain silent. Because if you remain silent, you just embolden them to do it even more to you. Right? And they have that feeling of anonymity and the fact that you're not saying anything, so they feel like, well, you know, we have the right, that what we're doing or what we're accusing this person of, okay, and it's an accusation that they're not bringing to you, okay, and they're doing it through psychological means, okay, or what have you, you know, constantly trying to silence you, right? And now imagine if you were to remain silent, whatever it is that they accusing you of, they're just gonna say, you know, look, this person is quiet. He's not saying anything, so he must be guilty of whatever we're saying, right? You know, and the thing is, you know, they use tactics to try to shut you up. So, for example, every time I do a video, they send me these psychological threats about being arrested or what have you, such and such, right? And I realized that this was a tactics that they were using to try to silence me. Okay? But the harassment still goes on. The remote neural monitoring still goes on. The poisoning of your food still goes on. Right? Okay? The microwaving of your mind still goes on, and those around you still goes on. Okay? So the only way is to make people aware of what's going on and hope that they can wake up and realize what's being done. And by me showing what's being done, you know, people can become more aware or more awakened. Alright? So for example, if I show you videos of people always pinching their nose whenever they see me, or they do certain hand signals whenever they see me, whether they are doing it or not, whether it's because of the microwave or they're purposely doing it, you know, those that may not know they're doing it, if they see the video, might see me on the street and say, you know, okay, if I get the urge to touch my nose or stick my fingers in my ears whenever I see this guy, don't do it. Make a conscious effort not to do it. Okay, and so, you know, that's why exposing this, putting this on video and film, you know, to again make people more aware and awaken their mind. Because right now, you know, these people are manipulated heavily, right? That they don't even realize that they're being manipulated. They don't even understand. They're just going by what's being told. You know, they have what is called a hive mentality. Okay, and it's not in a good way. Okay, a large portion of these people are in a destructive cult. This is cult behavior driven. Okay, the authorities. This is state-sponsored terrorism, psychological terrorism, physical terrorism. You know, using these programs to discredit those of us who they have illegally experimented on using these weapons, using, you know, illegally microchipping us and trying to silence us about what it is that they're doing. Okay, and throughout history, society that has always had internal turmoil, who have done some of the most outrageous and egregious crimes against people, have been societies that who have always trotted national security, safety first. These are some of the, you know, the whistle dog words, right? Make America great again, America first, safety first, national security. They will always use community security. They will community safety. They will always use this, and this is a fear-based tactic, and it has worked for, you know, millennia. Okay, in order to suppress and basically commit outrageous crimes against people in the society. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, so remember these websites. Let me go through them again. So again, the YouTube website. Okay, so you go to YouTube and Google, not YouTube, not Google, I'm sorry, but just type in psychological harassment. You'll see the video is called Psychological Harassment and Psychological Manipulation. Again, Mark Rich, The New World War, is very, very important, very well documented. You know, freeminds.org. Okay, Mind Control Language Pattern, Dante Line Jones, and the Hidden Evil PDF. Okay, you can download it. It'll explain everything, all the stuff that's going on. And I know I'm scrolling through this very fast and stuff like that, but you know, it talks about the theft and break-in, character assassination, you know, framings, how they frame you, sabotage and vandalism, mail interference, destroying your mail. I've have videos that shows a lot of this stuff. Okay, pranks, blacklisting, you know. So again, this is very, very important that you guys you know this information and these information, and that we keep them alive so that future generation will have something to you know, go to if they have to seek out information of what's being done to them. Okay, so that's it for the video, and you know, I know I said this might be the last time for this, you know, because the summer's beginning, so I'm going to be with the kids, and I can't do this at my house. It's just, you know, the kids are there, and even though they're here, but I don't have a webcam, and even I do have a mic and the recording software. Okay, and so hopefully, I would say hopefully, yeah, I can do more video in this format. But if not, I'll do it in a different format. Okay, all right.